Okay? Good evening, everyone. My name is Jamie Womack Williams. I am the State Education's Issues Coordinator for Texas AFT. Welcome to our next segment here with the Wellness Wednesday. We are going to start yoga and chakras this month. So we had 5 sessions. This is our first session. Our instructor is Eleanor Harris. She is a current classroom teacher in Austin ISD and an Education Austin member. She has a master's degree in education. She is also a certified yoga instructor. So I am going to turn it over to Eleanor so that she can start her class. Please, if everyone could please make sure that you are on mute during this class. And if you have questions, you can put them in the chat box and we will answer your questions as we go. So otherwise, I am going to let Eleanor, it's yours.
Okay. Hi, I'm Eleanor Harris, and I am so glad you all are here. This is my first time presenting online this type of format, so I really appreciate this opportunity and all of you joining. So the yoga, I don't know your experience about or knowledge about yoga or the chakras or mudras and simple breathing. We're going to be working on a simple breath called Ujjayi breathing. With the chakras, I just showed Jamie a few minutes ago, but I'm going to just show you some colors. I don't know if you all can see these different. Let me see if my screen. The chakras are, oh, okay. I'm going to just scan here. You'll notice from the bottom, we have the more red, orange going towards the yellow. Then the heart is what we're going to focus on today. And the heart chakra is either a green type of color or a pink. And basically the difference, and then you go up to the higher chakras, higher intuitive spiritual chakras. So I'm going to go over to I'm also not used to not having interaction with you all. So, but I'm going to share my screen and just talk for a few minutes about what we will be doing today. Today's class will be very easy in the sense that I don't know if anyone has any injuries or not, but I'd like that information at the end so that I can modify anything that might need to be modified for you all. So welcome to the Wellness Wednesday. So what is a chakra? There are 7 of them and they're energy centers, okay? You have, what we'll be doing is each week, even though there's 7 chakras, I'm going to be going for over 5 weeks. Today, we will focus on the heart center. And the picture you see with the palms of the hands together, and they gently rest on the heart center. This is often how a yoga class will begin. And when I bring my hands together, it's as if I'm holding a piece of paper between the palms of my hand. So I'm not trying to smash the paper, but I'm just, even when I first bring my hands together, there's an awareness there. I notice if one hand is more receptive or if one hand is more like pushing. Sometimes there's a pushing energy or pulling energy. And we're going to work a little bit with energy also. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to start with the sound of Om. I will say that 3 times. It's just a way of connecting to the higher. If you'd like to join me, you can, bringing your hands, or you can, I'm going to close my eyes. You're welcome to keep your eyes open. And I will just sound Om 3 times, and then I will begin. I'm going to also take my glasses off. Okay? Bringing the palms together. Taking a deep breath in. And as I lower my head, I'm surrendering my ego, my brain, to that of the heart will. And just taking a moment to set my intention. Deep breath in, exhale, lowering my hands down, and then slowly opening up the eyes, okay? So, what is a chakra? A chakra is an energy center. And as I said, Om, you may have felt a vibrational, maybe not. In person, that sometimes happens, but the energy resonates. We have starting, they start down at the bottom. I'll stand up later, but today we're going to focus on the heart, the 4th chakra. I just felt like that one, most of us know where our heart is and what it represents to us on the physical level. So if you prefer working just on a more physical level, you can think about the heart as a circulation, your blood, pumping your blood and just bringing oxygen into the body, all of that. And again, on that more, the heart is also our compassion, how we feel about others, our love for ourselves, for others, or maybe our lack of love for ourselves or for others. And that's where the union comes in. Yoga means union. And by practicing yoga, we're bringing our mind, our thoughts, connecting to the heart with our body. So that's what I would hope from this 5-week series that you begin to do. We will be working with some meditation practices. Meditation is simply drawing the mind inward. So I'll be giving you some verbal cues about that, but that's something. And I want to let you know at any time, even though we're doing simple breathing exercises, if at any time you feel uncomfortable or it doesn't feel okay, breathe normally. Please breathe normally, okay? Because you're breathing all the time. We just don't think about our breath, okay? So when I brought my hands together, this is known as a mudra. It is a symbol that is used in many different religions and different philosophies. And the mudra helps to channel our energy. And when I bring my hands together like this, I'm honoring the light, my energy within myself, and the energy within you all. So now, as we're going to practice, we're going to do a very, very simple practice to like, what is energy? And I sometimes think of going into an elevator. In an elevator, I don't know if we may not often be in an elevator or maybe being outdoors, okay? So if you compare or just think for a moment, how do you feel when you go into a crowded room? How do you feel when you're at the beach or you feel the wind blow or someone says something kind to you or something mean or harsh? That can affect our energy. And it can affect us either in a positive or a negative way, or maybe in a neutral way. But what we're going to do is I'm going to help you. I'm also a body worker. I'm a long time body worker massage therapist. And so working with energy is something I do a lot. Sometimes people, you think, oh, they're sending me negative energy or positive energy. And what does that mean? So what I'd like you to do is we're going to do a simple practice. I'm going to take my hands and I'm just going to rub the palms of my hands together like this. And and I said, I'll work on 2 levels. On a more physical level, I'm creating friction. Okay, so that this friction as I rub my hands together, and please try this as I talk, because we'll be doing this for a couple minutes. I'm building energy between the palms of my hands, okay? And then I begin to feel my hands get warmer, and that's simply the circulation. Now, here's where the energy comes in, okay? I'm gonna slowly pull my hands apart. Now, this could be circulation. I feel like a vibration. If you don't feel anything, that's fine. I've done this a long time. Rub your hands together again. So again, you're working on the circulation, okay? We're working on a physical level here. And this rubbing the hands together, increasing the blood is very, and this is something you do when you're cold. This is something we do so often, or maybe not often in the summer in Texas, but maybe on a cold day. And again, pull the hands apart. It's like you're stretching taffy. And you might begin to feel, I do this, I'm sending energy, okay? And one hand is sending, one hand receives, okay? And then rebuild the energy again. And sometimes even just doing something like this, and you often, I mean, you may not often, but you may have had someone just place the palm of their hand on your forehead or on your shoulder when you're stressed, and that just gives you a sense of calm, a sense of peace. So we set our intention, and that's what I'd like you to do, is to take a moment and just think, what would I like to get from this class? What would I like to learn? And at the end, you'll fill a survey. You'll let me know, did you get that or not? Now, just when you take your hands apart, feeling that taffy. Now, what I'd also like you to do, I said, feel the difference. I'm going to ask you, I'm seated right now. You're going to take your hands. This is palms up. And, oh, you can't see. So I'm going to just place them on my shoulders so that you can see, since this is the part of my body you can see. My palms are down right now. My palms are up, okay? I'm going to place my hands on my knees, which you cannot see. And I'd like you to try this. And just when we do this simple movement of the hands, again, it's the intention. As you bring the hands down, do you put your palms up? Or are you placing your palms down? This is, again, very simple, but notice, do you feel a difference? And it's okay if you don't. It's just something that I'd like you to be mindful of. If you feel like, sometimes if I feel like I need more protection, I feel there's negative energy coming towards me, I will put the palms over my heart. It's a very simple method, and then it's not invasive in any way, but here I'm protecting my heart. And as we go through the different chakras, you will be able to use these tools. Okay, so awareness of your breath. And one of the things, so as I said at the beginning, we are always breathing. If we were not breathing, we would not be here, okay? So you are always breathing. Now, the difference between conscious breathing is that I set my intention, I'm going to take and the other thing, I always start, when I set my conscious intention, I start with the exhale, okay? So I will exhale the breath. Since you can't see my full body, if I bring my hand down like this, I'm exhaling. If I raise my hand up, I'm inhaling. It's just simply inhale and exhale, okay? So, and you may not see that in this format, but, and again, anytime as we work with the breath, it can bring up emotions, it can bring up memories, maybe not today, but as we proceed through these different breathing, and we're only going to be doing, all we'll be working on is inhale, exhale, nothing too fancy. but just inhaling and exhaling with awareness, okay? So what this will also do is it will help reduce stress, it will help reduce anxiety, and I think I spelled that wrong. So you will help to reduce stress and anxiety, and also it helps with decreasing your blood pressure, your lowering cholesterol, and it will help you feel more restful. At least I hope it will. The first breath we will be working with is called Ujjayi 1. And simply, it's awareness of the breath. So since we've started, I've been saying, be mindful of your breath. And you can always go back to normal breathing. So what's the difference? Aware breath, I'm going to consciously exhale. And then I'll inhale. Consciously exhale. And then inhale. That's it. And then if I say, oh, I'm done with that, I just breathe normally. And so my intention stops. That's the difference, okay? Ujjayi 1. We'll be doing over the next 5 weeks, we'll be doing 4 different Ujjayi breathing, okay? The first one, Ujjayi 1, is just awareness of your breath. You're aware that you're inhaling. You're aware that you're exhaling. The other thing we're going to talk about, or this is something you can practice through the week, are something called mudras. Mudras, and we did this one at the beginning, and this is like the prayer position of the hands, and it's often a greeting, namaste is what we will say. But these are some other mudras that you may have seen, and this is a simple one where you're going to take your index finger and your thumb and you touch them very lightly together, and the same on the other hand. Now, with my other fingers, you'll notice their fingers are going straight up. So here I might play with the energy, and usually I would do this with my hands resting on my knees, but I'm holding my hands up so you can see, okay? So I am making, and this is just the consciousness, again, where I'm thinking of the mind connecting to the heart. This is that type of connection here, that I am conscious of this. So this is a mudra that when we're seated, you would like to hold your hands in this position, I welcome you to. You don't have to. You can also do palms up, palms down. But this is one that's used to gain knowledge, all right? So when people meditate with this type of hand position, they may be seeking some knowledge. Another mudra, dhyana, is where we simply, and these are things that you may do often, and what you will do is you will take your left hand, that goes on the bottom, and you place your right hand on top, and you cannot see my hands, are up high. So my left hand is on the bottom, my right hand is on the top, and the 2 thumbs gently touch, okay? Now, if I do this like this, you'll see my shoulders go up. This is not a restful position for me, so I'm gonna lower my hands, okay? I want your shoulders to be relaxed. Anytime you're practicing Ujjayi breathing. However, after 3 or 4, if this is new to you, maybe do the breath 3 or 4 times, go back to normal breathing. It may not seem this may not seem difficult, and it is not, but it is a very strong practice. So this is another mudra that helps to bring serenity and inner peace. By surrendering, the left hand is the more yin, the more receptive, the more receiving side. The right hand is the more giving side. So we're allowing our nature of giving to rest in the left, in that of our more peaceful nature, okay? So this is another mudra that you can practice. Now, this next mudra is one, because this is a heart chakra focus, I'm hoping I will stay focused on that. This is the Ganesh mudra. This one is not as common, but again, I'm going to start with my left hand. With my left hand, I'm bringing thumb down. Thumb goes down, my hand goes against my heart center, okay? And we're right around, it's on your sternum. The right hand comes across, and this one, thumb is up. Left hand, thumb down, right hand, thumb up, connect the hands, and I make a little fist like this, okay? Now, as I do this with my hands just in this position is going to help the heart. It helps relieve tension in the chest and shoulders, okay? So what we will do is this, and I will just describe it one time, and I will do this twice, and I will repeat to the other side to keep myself balanced. And then I'll take a few normal breaths and you all will repeat with me. Feel free to do this at the same time, but you do want to do an equal number on both sides, okay? So if you join in at some point, make sure you do an equal number. And you will see what I mean. So I started with my left thumb down, right thumb up, interconnecting the fingertips. I will consciously exhale the breath, exhaling, and then I inhale. On that next exhale, I'm going to pull, and then inhale, release, exhale, pull, inhale, release. That was twice. The second set, I'm going to now put my right thumb down, left thumb up. So this feels weird. You see my shoulders, my elbows. So looking at myself, I'm really off balance, and I can feel this in my shoulder as well. Same thing, consciously exhale the breath. And then I will inhale, exhale, pull, inhale, exhale, pull. So I did that 2 times. Now, I would like you all to repeat that with me, and we will do this. I'm gonna go for 4 times, okay? 4 times to the left, 4 times to the right. Now, your breathing may be faster or slower than mine. Don't hold your breath at any time, because that's a different type of breathing. But just be mindful if you do hold your breath, and exhale. If you're holding your breath, exhale, okay? Starting with the left hand, left thumb down, right hand comes across, right thumb up, grasp. Consciously exhale the breath. Inhale, exhale, pull the 2 hands apart. Inhale, exhale, pull your hands apart. Well, you're not actually pulling the hands apart. Inhale, exhale, feel the fingers tugging at each other. Inhale, exhale, and pull. That was 4 times, and we'll switch to the second side. This time, right thumb down, left hand comes on top. Boy, my shoulder is tight on that right side. So, consciously exhale the breath to start. Inhale, exhale, pull. Inhale, release. Exhale, pull. Inhale, release. Exhale, pull. Inhale, release. Exhale. And you can bring your hands down. You can notice if you bring your palms up or down when you bring your hands, lowering your hands, okay? Just again, so that you're aware of what you're doing. Oh, that's my last slide. That shouldn't be there. So I do not know how I did that. Oh, I know what I did. Okay, so I've got this, so I'll put this slide up again at the end if you have questions or concerns about what we are doing. You can email me later. I'm going to stop the share right now because I'm going to go ahead and stand up. I hope you all, we practice this, so I'm hoping you will be able to see my full body, okay? So that I'm going to just stand up and back up a little bit. So, oh man, I'm tiny. I'm actually 5'10", but to see myself this big, an inch big. So I'm hoping you all, I'm going to come in just a touch closer here. I'm not pulling that. Just, okay. So what I thought I would do is, as I said, I'm also a body worker. And so working with energy, and feel free to stand up. And what I'd like you to do is we're going to just do some very simple arm movements, working from the heart, so that you'll just extend, and I'll demonstrate first, but feel free to join me at any time. I'm going to just extend my arms out to the side, bringing my hands up above my head, and then bringing the palms down to the heart center. Okay, so that's it. We'll just do that 4 times, all right? So you'll release the hands down. Inhale the breath and exhale, bringing the hands to the heart center. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hands to the heart center. 2 more times. Inhale, reaching up, and exhale, bringing the hands once again to the heart center. Okay? Lowering your hands back down. From here, what I'd like you to do is, when I do this, I have my feet together. If you do not feel balanced with your feet together, you can always stand with your feet hip width apart, so that you might have, between, it depends how big your hips are, okay? Yeah, little bitty hips, your feet are going to be closer together. You've got bigger hips, a broader base. Separate the feet a little wider apart, okay? So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to stand up. Even though we're talking about the heart, I'm going to have you bring your energy into your feet. And you see my hands are moving forward and back. Because you cannot see my feet, what I'm doing is I want you to become aware of your feet. And you might lift up all your toes and then stretch them back down onto the ground. Inhale, lifting up the toes and stretch them back down onto the ground. I'm going to come in, I'm going to show you my hands so that you can see what I'm doing with my toes. Usually our feet are in our shoes, okay, and they're constricted. And you can continue that movement of lifting and stretching out the toes. So what I'd like you to do is you're going to lift the toes, stretch them apart, and then let them relax back down. Hands, stretch them apart, and lower them once again. So as you do this movement with the feet, you are activating all those lower leg muscles, okay? So you're increasing the circulation through the feet, through the legs, which benefits your heart, okay? The other thing I'm going to ask you to do is to gently bring your body forward, and you feel like, you feel those toes start to grip a little bit, and come back to center. I forgot to mention, I don't know if you have shoes on or socks on. I am working in bare feet, okay? I do not have anything on my feet right now. So if you'd like to take a moment to remove your shoes or your socks, or if you are in shoes, you might practice this later without shoes on, so that you can really see if you can stretch all your toes apart. And often what you might find, again, I'm coming in close, so if this were my big toe, my thumb were my big toe, you might find that that 3rd and 4th toe, they don't want to move apart, okay? Just be mindful of that. And again, as you do this, and there's different types of massage reflexology that work with the feet. And so that's what we're kind of doing, is we're stimulating different points of the feet. So I'm going to tip forward, and I feel my toes want to grab the floor. And then I'm going to rock back onto my heels, so I feel like I'm falling backwards. So just coming forward, and I'm bringing that awareness into my feet where my balance is. So after a few times just rocking forward and back, I'm going to then shift my weight over to my left, so that I feel the weight coming more and more onto that outer edge of the foot, and I'll shift over to the right, okay? Because what we're doing is we're just bringing our awareness, our consciousness into our feet, which you may or may not think about throughout the day, but they carry us. Our feet carry us all the time, and I feel, maybe some of you take better care of your feet than I do, but that is something that that being mindful of the energy. When you get really tired, when we're really tired, one of the first places that we will notice are your legs are tired, okay? Your legs get tired. So that these exercises are very simple, and over the next few weeks we will do a little bit more. But as I said, today we're going to start very simply. Now, what I'd like you to do, and I'm going to have to work with this format, is that as I stand here, I want to work with the physical body, okay? So I'm going to take my hands, I'm going to stand to my side. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to just bring my fingers, let's see, I have to tip down. I'm going to spread my fingers so that if you had a seam here in your pant, that middle finger would go down the seam of your pant. The front finger would come, the thumb would come towards the front, and the little finger towards the back, okay? Placing your hands on both sides of your hips like this. Now, what I'd like you to do is we're going to squeeze the muscles along the glutes, lift the belly, so you can see if you can feel the skin under your thumbs move, and you can relax. Again, as you do this, you're going to squeeze the skin, squeeze the muscles, lift the belly. You're trying to see, where do you feel the movement? Do you feel any movement? And relax, and you feel, I feel everything get a little bit soft, okay? I don't like that, but that's what happens. And then I will squeeze and tighten through the hips. So that again, this sense of balance, this sense of awareness, that as I lift, that this is engaging the muscles. It's an isometric exercise. It's very, very simple. And it's also a pose called Tadasana. Tadasana is mountain pose. This was the pose that was the hardest pose for me when I started yoga. I have chopped my head off. I'm so sorry. I don't know which part of the body you'd like to see. So in Tadasana, and I'll have to work with this, guys. Thank you for bearing with me as I do this for the first time. And my mat is crooked. I don't like that. All right. So in Tadasana, mountain pose, when you think of a mountain is solid. A mountain is connected to the earth. So you're going to rock forward and back on your feet a little bit. You're going to start to lift. Your fingers are here on the sides of your hips. You want to lift, and you'll feel that your belly lift up, okay? Now, today we're not talking about the lower chakras, but 2 inches below your belly button, there's a chakra there. I'm going to ask you to pull. As you exhale, pull that area below the belly button, 2 inches below the belly button. It's called the Tanden. That's the energy center. It's another in Chinese philosophy, our Tanden. You want to pull your Tanden in, okay? And so often, especially after having a child, I don't know how any of you are mothers out there, but this Tanden starts to go. Our belly just starts to, and what we're doing is we're just letting our energy go. We're not controlling our energy. So gently pull that in. Pull the hips up. Notice how your feet feel. Notice if you can feel that balance throughout the feet. And again, if you feel like, oh, this feels tippy, ideally your feet are together, your toes are touching. If you're not balanced, separate the feet so your feet become a little, and that should help your balance, okay? So mountain pose. I'm going to start, and I come from, and the reason I talk about the feet, this is our foundation. Even though we're talking about the heart center, I want to build a firm base. I want to make sure that as I work from the heart, I'm staying grounded, okay? Next week, I'm going to go more into the feet and all that, but anyways. So from here, coming back into Tadasana, rocking forward and back. You're in a mountain pose. You're going to inhale, lift the arms up, and once again, bring them to your heart center. Now, as I lift my arms up and I'm inhaling, I'm taking in oxygen, prana, energy, and exhale. releasing any negativity, any emotion, anything I no longer need or want. Just do that 2 more times. Inhaling, lifting the arms up and bringing them once again to the heart center. Last time. Notice the weight on your feet as you do that, coming up and back down. Okay, I'm going to just separate the feet, turning my toes out, turning the heels so my feet are parallel. Okay, what I'd like you to do is we're going to do, I'm going to come in a little closer. We're going to do tree pose. Okay. And I haven't worked with this enough because some of the things that we'll be doing will be lying down, but not today. I don't know how to set my computer up yet. I'll have to practice. But in tree pose, and if I step back, I know what I have to do. I have to lower the frame a bit, step back, okay? So tree pose, again, that connection, that rootedness through the earth. I'm sending roots down through my feet so I stay very connected. Here I am in mountain pose. And what grows on a mountain? A tree, right? Now, as that tree starts to sprout, and this is going to be represented by my leg, I can bring my foot just very gently here so that my toes stay on the floor. This is especially if you're not used to balancing, that you might want to keep your toes on the floor just so that you can practice. Because what will happen is your body may want to tip to one side. You want to, and when we first brought our hands together into Namaste, I said, notice if one hand pushes, one hand pulls. When we do this tree pose, this is where you really start to notice as we shift the balance, as we become more asymmetrical, as things in our life start to change, we become imbalanced, right? So when we practice tree pose, I am uprooting. I want to maintain that balance as I do that. And I do that from my tanden, from that area 2 inches below the belly button. And you can bring your leg back down. Okay, so second side, you can just breathe. And if your balance is difficult, keep your toes on the ground. And what you want to notice, if one foot pushes, feels like it's pushing you over from your center, let that heart center lift. Let the tanden, that area 2 inches below the belly button, come in. And from your mountain pose, allow your tree to grow. Allow your leg to come up. And with your foot resting on the other leg, notice if it's pushing. My straight leg needs to be solid. That's the trunk of my tree. The other leg, the energy starts to lift and rise. And you just want to play with that a little bit so you can maintain your balance. Now, if you had a hard time doing that, next week when we practice, I'm not used to not seeing my head. Next week when we practice, have an area where you can lie down on the floor so you can practice tree pose lying down. The other thing you can do, I'm going to make myself, no, that's not going to work. Well, it can work. I'm going to just demonstrate this, but I'm still working on the format. And if you all are practicing this, continue to notice and do this as I kind of set myself up. I have a wall back here, okay? If you're not sure of your balance, you can always stand against a wall, all right? So here, I am not worried about falling over. I have something supporting me, okay? So, and what you may start to notice that you may not have a spot in your house where you can go up against the wall. See if you can find a spot so that you can use that for balance, okay? Now, I was going to just show you another way of moving energy, okay? And what we're going to do is brushing. So here, I'm simply using my hand. I'm moving downward, okay? On both sides. Other side, I'm gonna brush brush. And what I'm doing, as my intention here, is if I've had a bad day and I feel like I've been around toxic people, I'm sure you all don't know anyone like that, but if I feel like that, or just being in with this whole COVID, and some days I'm just like, ugh, I don't like that energy. I'm gonna brush it all off, okay? I'm brushing it off, brush it off my back. And again, on that physical level, I'm increasing circulation, brushing, and then I shake, 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 shake. Now, when I do that, what my intention is not to send my negative energy that I've just released to someone else. I'm sending it up to be transformed and transmuted. It's not mine, I don't want it anymore, but I don't want to give it to somebody else. I want it to change. My intention is to change, is to shift my energy. Okay, so that's what, so today we're not gonna do a lot because next week, what I'd like you to do, and beforehand, we're gonna do some breathing exercises. I'm gonna just show you a couple things here. This is a bathroom rug, okay? And what I'm gonna do with this bathroom rug is just roll it up. So yeah, it's about, I don't know, 4 to 6 inches, something like that. Why I like this, it's nice and firm, okay? You might have a yoga blanket or something, okay? We're gonna roll it. I am not set up to show you this, but I will be next week. I would like you to have a couple of props. If you don't have a bathroom rug or a yoga blanket, have a couple of towels, okay? Something firm, not a soft, fluffy blanket. That's not gonna work. I want something firm. And we're going to use this. You will be lying back over it. So if I were lying down, this would be under my heart center to help open up the heart. It's a very, very simple stretch, okay? So next week, I'd like you to have something like that. Now, we're I'm gonna come back in here, lower my screen, and we're gonna do a couple more on the physical level. The heart is located here in the sternum, all right? We're gonna take our hands, I'm gonna stand a little bit. My rib cage right here, okay? My hands are here on the sides. As I exhale the breath, I feel my ribs contract. I inhale, you'll feel the ribs stretch, okay? Exhale, you'll feel the ribs go in. Inhale, you'll feel that stretch. Now, some of you may have heard of belly breathing. Your lungs are not in your belly, okay? So your lungs are up here. Your lungs are up here, they're here. I want you to think of taking your breath up into this upper part, so up above the heart a little bit, okay? So maybe I'm now going to place my hands here. So I can see as I inhale, exhale, can you feel the muscles, the bones stretch in this area of the body, okay? Do that a few times. I said the lungs are up here. We'll do a few breaths here. Consciously exhale, inhale. It feels like I'm puffing up my chest a little bit, but not really. Instead, I'm bringing oxygen into the body. And notice how you feel as you bring the breath. Maybe you haven't breathed into this part of the body. Slow exhale. And always remember, there's no right or wrong as we do this. What we're doing is we're building our awareness. So as you build the awareness of how does your body feel now, taking that deep breath in and a slow exhale, okay? So that as you practice, and as I said, throughout the day, you will be breathing all day, but it's the awareness of the breath that makes it an ujjayi, breath. Notice if you can breathe into your upper chest, soft, slow exhalation. Now, the other thing about when you practice your breathing this week, and there's so much about breathing that I love this method. I used to work really hard at learning how to meditate. I worked so hard at wanting to learn how that the purpose of meditating was not to work hard. It was to be fully present. And that was something that took me many years to realize, because I like to be more of a doer than just being. And I think that's what the yoga allows. It just allows us to be with ourselves fully as who we are in this moment. And that as you do your breathing, you begin to open up these parts, the cells of the body that may not have been awakened from the inside, okay? So that's why I say that things may come up. Often, I'm going to turn to the side. Often, we work on the computer, we close our heart center, our neck, our shoulders get very tight. So as I become aware of the heart, I'm going to lift that heart center from my arms, my shoulders. I want to gently roll those shoulders back. That happens from the back of the body, okay? So then I'm going to use my spine to support my muscles so that my organs can function effectively, okay? So that as we start to collapse our bones, then the muscles start to soften and those organs get a little weaker, all right? So that just that consciousness of the spine, of that lift. And what I'd like you to do, if you do have space to lie down, go ahead and lie down.
I didn't get that.
Oh,
Could
I'm
you try
sorry.
again?
No, sorry. Not gonna try
Sorry,
again.
I'm
Sorry. Sorry. What I'd like you to do is you can lie down. The reason I like you to lie down is it's called corpse pose. You would lie down and just have the palms of your hands up. In this pose, the hands are up versus down because it will help to keep the heart center open. And just from where you are, whether you're seated or you're standing up, lying down, I want you, and I'm going to see if you can see this or not. If you can see my hands, okay, what I want you to see, okay, my hands, palms back, palms open. So I'm just turning palms open, palms back. What you're doing is you're rotating this whole shoulder girdle, okay? So again, these are not hard things to do, but this opening of that upper portion of the lung and getting that area to stretch so that it's like, I am happy, you know? That expansive feeling is what you want to try to find and feel in your body, as opposed to this closed. And teachers working, sitting at the computer, this often tends to close down. I'm going to just do one more exercise or stretch for the arms. Okay, it's called Gomukh Asana. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the left, take my arm up above my head, drop my hand, got myself on the back, okay? Now here, your elbow, I don't know where your elbow is, but ideally, I would like it to move towards the back of your head, okay? Now as and it might be way over here. If your shoulder girdle is tight, your elbow might be here. You're gonna bring it now. I can use my other hand to gently bring that elbow towards the back of my head. Now, as I do this, sometimes what happens is the weight of my arm and the tightness of my body, everything wants to drop. I want to ideally keep that heart center lifted. So not only am I bringing the elbow, pulling it back, I'm pulling it towards the midline of the body, okay? And release. Same thing on the other side. The other arm comes up, pat yourself on the back. Notice if your elbow, so I'm trying to cradle my head in the crook of my elbow, okay? Maintaining that lift of the heart, keeping the breath moving, gently stretching the arm back, okay? And pulling to the side. And we'll repeat both sides, taking your arm up. Left side, arm comes up, hand comes down, stretch the elbow back, bring it back behind the head, keeping the heart center lifted, also keeping the lungs open and lifted, okay? Second side, lifting the arm up, touching your back, stretching your arm, and back. Now, after you do that, what this is doing also, working with the heart and the lungs, and why I feel this is also so important, I said from a physical level, is with the COVID, with this pandemic that we are going through, we need to utilize every part of our lung. We need to know, how do you bring more breath into the body? Because when we get stressed, we will hold our breath. Not we, generally, most people hold their breath. Or we breathe shallow, little breath, little breath. We're not conscious of our breath. We're not conscious of our breathing. By slowing down the breath, which we'll work on next week. Today, all we're doing is being aware of the breath. And I want you to become aware that your lungs are up here, your lungs are here on the sides, that you're breathing into these other parts of your body, and you're getting those those organs to function more effectively, okay? So I may not be meditating, but there is a meditation in that process. And again, anytime you feel uncomfortable, go back to normal breathing. My timer did go off. I'm going to allow a little bit of time so that if you have some questions or concerns, you can address them in the chat box. What else I would like you to do is that I would like you, if not now, since this is the first time, but ideally when I finish the session, I would like you to lie down on the floor in what is called corpse pose or dead man's pose, Shavasana. And just so your spine, your body comes into a neutral position. If when you lie down flat on the floor, you experience any lower back pain or pain anywhere in your body, please let me know so that I can provide some modification. Sometimes the hamstrings are tight. You might need that extra roll under the knees. But if you can, when we finish this session today, because I haven't allowed you to lie down, I don't know how to quite demonstrate that. I would like you to take a couple moments to lie down, being mindful of the breath. Remember to exhale first so that you consciously release the breath, and then you're just going to consciously breathe. You can use your hands to touch your lungs on the side of the body, on the upper lung, lower lung, and there's no right or wrong. If you find your mind going into, oh, I did it right or I did it wrong, just come back to the breath, so that you stay in the moment, not in the past, not what you're going to do, but just being fully present in the moment. Okay, so Jamie, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a few minutes, okay? And maybe before we do that, I would like us just to take a moment and I'll just say thank you guys. I don't quite know how we'll end, but yeah, there. So I'm going to share so that you can see my email address.
It'll be, I actually have it, Eleanor, on the last slide, so they'll see it at the end.
Oh, okay. All righty. So I'll stop the share and then, okay. Thank you, Jamie.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Eleanor. Hang on just a minute. If you are not a member of Texas AFT, you can visit texasaft.org, find your local affiliate, and join. Your membership gives you access to all of our research-based professional development. You also, in the time of COVID, if you are struggling with everything going on around you, we have free trauma counseling services that you can access. If you want more information about that, you can just send me an email and I will send you a link to that information. And so let's see, our favorite part is what we learn, but the second favorite part is the prizes. So tonight we are giving away some yoga blocks, a yoga mat, and a yoga strap, because as we progress with Eleanor, we will need these objects, and she will give you alternatives if you don't have these things, so don't worry about that. So I am going to do a drawing. In order to be in the drawing, remember that you have to participate for at least 30 minutes the week prior, and that puts you in the drawing for next week. So all of you that are here tonight, if you participated for at least 30 minutes, next Wednesday at the end, your name will be in the bucket to be possibly win a prize. All right. Anything else, Eleanor?
No, just I want to say thank you all for participating. And if you'd let me know how I could improve, I would greatly appreciate that, because this is a new format for me. And thank you, Jamie. I appreciate this opportunity so much. Thank you.
No, thank you. We have really enjoyed all this Wellness Wednesday. It gives us, I think, a sense of normalcy each week that we have this to look forward to each Wednesday afternoon. Well, everyone, thank you so much for taking time out of your evening to join us, and we will see you again next Wednesday. It's from 6 to 7. There is a Facebook event on the Texas AFT website, so you can go there and you can share that on your Facebook page so that more of our educator friends know that we're actually doing this, and would love to see some of our other friends join us. So you all have a good evening and see you next Wednesday.
Thank you. Bye.